We celebrate social media as our sort of default scrapbook these days. Maybe you do better than that, though, and print photos in books, line them up on your shelf. In your photo taking, bookmaking, online posting, whatever it is, my next guest offers the challenging question, are you really saving your stories? We are so pleased to have storyteller and product designer Stacy Julian with us today in Studio 5. It's so great to see you.
So great
we had
to see
a mad dash catch up in the green room, you and me. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
But I do enjoy keeping up with you on social media.
As I do you.
So it's fun to see you in person. It's fun to see you.
Thank you.
This message is really important. And it caught me as a mom kind of on my heels. A lot of other people, I think, will find that same thought-provoking reaction to what you have to say today. So in all of the ways that we've documented our lives, right? Scrapbooking, digital photo books,
social media.
Yeah, you have always been one seeking the story.
Story.
Why is that, Stacy?
Because story is powerful, right? I mean, it's so essential. To me, it's like breathing or eating. I mean, that's who we are. That's our identity. That's how we connect to the past. That's what we're leaving for the future. I mean, you know, we inherit it from ancestors, from parents. We can change it. We can grow it. But that's who we are ultimately at the end, right?
Yes.
We are our stories.
And that mantra brings us to the juicy bit in this conversation because you are kind of calling us out in the nicest Stacy Julian way. We're making a big mistake, you believe.
Well, yeah, I think we are. And I think it's just over-associating pictures with story. Okay, because pictures are awesome. And in this digital age where I have access to, 50,000 photos in the cloud and I can pull them up on my device. But just because I take the picture or post the picture doesn't mean that the story is being told. So I've done some family history in the last couple of years, and this is what I've come to believe. I would rather have a story without a photo than a photo without a story. So think about that just for a second, right? Say that over to yourself, because I can imagine things when you tell me a story, but you give me a picture in one generation and there's very little that I know.
Yeah, a picture might not say 1,000 words when it's past decade to decade.
Anything.
So we've got to be
Even with
writing.
hashtags, doesn't say anything.
Those hashtags aren't going to carry over. We've got to be writing then.
Yeah, yes, we do. We've got to retrieve those stories and share them, document them.
Does writing, do you think, seem overwhelming for the busy millennial mom?
Yeah, it can, but that's why I'm here, to make it easier.
Help us. How can we do it in an easier way?
So really, it's really about the retrieval process, where the stories live, because they aren't in the picture. So the best way that I know how to describe it is picture your brain. Your brain's this amazing thing. It catalogs every experience, every conversation, every adventure, every relationship, and it's all neatly packed away as if your brain were an attic. Okay, and there's boxes stacked from floor to ceiling and they're labeled, but we don't go to the attic because we're busy and we're distracted and we're keeping up with everybody else's feeds on social media. So we need to relearn how to go to the attic and how to open a box and how to take a few things out and go, oh, I remember this, right? And I want to write about it. And it's not hard to do that.
Even if we're dusting off layers of dust on boxes from years past.
And the more you do it, obviously, the easier it gets. The more often you open that door to the attic and you go inside, the easier it is to do again and again. I mean, things are triggered for us every day as you drive down the street. You smell something, you hear something, you read something, and all of a sudden you're back in junior high or something, right? But then we don't know what to do with it. So I've created this awesome story starter product that will help you intentionally retrieve a story, write it down, and this is where pictures come in. Pictures are the illustration. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're the color.
Yeah, you can show me. I've seen beautiful pictures of your children on your feed, right? So you might have pictures of your kids, and you can absolutely tell me about those pictures, and that's a fantastic thing to do. But if I ask you to close your eyes, Brooke, and think about your family, and what does it mean to you to be a mom? 3 times.
Now thank you. Times 3. I'm doing that count.
And you open your eyes and you write down. That's going to be a more authentic, that's coming from a more authentic place. And then you take those beautiful pictures of your kids and you illustrate what you just wrote, and that's different.
Even just listening to you describe that exercise, Stacy, it's a powerful one because it goes even beyond sensory. I mean, you just tapped into my heart with that one single question, right?
Right.
So is that the key to bring on those prompts or those triggers that will draw out the stories that you're talking about?
So the other day I'm Googling, because I love to Google, and find information.
Google girl.
I am, and I actually bought a research study because it was about retrieving memories. Okay, check this out.
Tell me.
It has everything to do with the kinds of questions you ask. So let's say I ask you about a trip to Disneyland, and I say, so when did you go to Disneyland, and what did you do? If I ask you objective, factual questions,
the who, what, where, when, why?
Your brain is going to retrieve a movie of you. You're going to see yourself walking around Disneyland. If I say to you, Brooke, how did it feel to go back to Disneyland with your sisters? What was your favorite thing that you ate? Your brain's going to retrieve a playback that's you. It's called the field view. You're going to see it as if you saw it the first time. Does that make sense?
Yes,
It's third person versus first person.
Okay.
I think that's a really important difference. thing to distinguish.
To put yourself back in the moment.
So the more sensory questions you ask of yourself, your grandma, your sibling, the more you're going to create a more authentic, right? You're going to get the information that's very unique to you and that isn't just the who, where, the who.
We've got a small sample, of some of these questions that you think can evoke those same kind of sensory experiences. Things like, where are you? What time of day is it? What are you wearing? What activities do you do together? You're getting detailed with these types of questions.
Yes.
Is that key?
That's key. That's exactly, yeah. And let me just, do I have time to show you just even one of these books?
Oh, yes, I want you to. So those are the type of questions we find in this new little system.
Yes, and this little system has a workbook that works you through how to ask yourself the questions, how to go to the attic, how to open up a box. So I wanted to do a little album about my mom. And so this is what we generally do. We print a couple pictures, and I've got a couple here that you can see. Because I think, okay, I'm going to scrapbook my mom or tell a story about my mom. But then I close my eyes and I open up the mom box, and I get details that I haven't thought about for years. And as soon as I get those details, and maybe you can show that to the camera, I don't know, but...
Yeah, I love that we've spent so much time together on long walks, bike rides, and hikes, plus road trips and flights, and that we've worked side by side in the yard. Again, you're taking yourself there, or in the house and beyond, singing songs and more.
So what happens is when I go and I get those memories first, I realize that I need different pictures. I'm like, oh, I need to find pictures that actually illustrate what I'm remembering versus just starting with the pictures. So instead of starting with the pictures, you start with the story.
And then you collect from there.
Hence story starter.
It probably does as well. This exercise probably changes the way you start taking photos down the road too. You're probably looking for different things. You're probably, trying to sense different
emotions. Or at least
emotions.
helps you sift through the 50,000 photos that you have on your device. So now you know which ones to put a heart next to.
I get this. I subscribe to this. I buy into this. How can we get our hands on this, Stacy?
So this is a partnership with Close to My Heart.
It's beautiful.
And so I'm sure you'll have a link, but you just need to find a consultant, someone that can come and teach it to you and your family, your sisters, your friends, whatever, or just buy it directly from one of their websites.
Look how simple. We need simple, but meaningful.
It's simple and meaningful and powerful, and you can pull it off a shelf and give it to a child or give it as a gift, and it's kind of taking us back to our roots, but it's where we need to go.
I love it. I buy into it. Thank you for sharing your philosophy.
Thank you for letting me come.
We really appreciate it.
Okay, you're awesome.
We put up some of those prompt questions on the screen. You saw those. We'll post those on our website if that helped you kind of get to this headspace as you approach memory keeping. And of course, this new little workbook available through Close to My Heart. We'll post a link to their website as well to make it easy to get your hands on one. I love that concept, bringing back the stories, those beautiful photos that we cherish. Thanks to Stacy for sharing her mantra with us.